we have Bray's senior hurling manager, the champions from last year, Paul Carley, joining us to answer a few questions. Paul, thanks a million for taking time out of your day. As you said, thinking the build up there, we haven't a lot going on, but thanks a million anyway for joining us. Firstly, congratulations on your win last year. Super win by a very, very good Bray team. But I suppose to get straight into things, how difficult has management been for these past 12 months? It must have been an absolute nightmare.
It has been at times, but you know, it's not really good for us to complain when everything else is going on. The good thing probably was we came back and we got straight back into it, and it was a complete run through until it was finished. You know, so we didn't really have time to overthink things. We just started off training straight away. We thought we were flying going into the Glenealy match, and we weren't. And it gave us a chance to look at what we were doing, and really from there it was very enjoyable. You know, and you can say it was difficult, but it wasn't. Everybody had the same time off. You're hearing different stories that this team is training harder than you are, and that team is training. And realistically, all we did was focus on ourselves. And for me, it was very enjoyable. It was in good weather. Everything was coming thick and fast. And you know, when it runs to a finish and you don't have that break, and you're trying to figure out what do you do in the break that the county teams are playing, I found it that bit easier. You know.
Yeah, I suppose that was it. Even though it was condensed, I suppose it was probably better from your own point of view that was going forward. I suppose looking forward to this year, how would you see you know the fixtures panning out? It's looking like the club scene could be after the inter-county scene now. You know, we're hearing whispers, but we're not getting anything concrete. How would you see things panning out this year?
Again, I think they're not going to do the same as last year. I don't think county managers will be happy if the start and then the break for club and then go back to county or either way. I think the county managers will want to play around June, July, August because of the good weather and good pitches, and it's just a bit more ordinary for them. I think they would have found it a lot harder to get used to it than what we did last year, you know. So I definitely think county will go first, and then they'll run a club to completion again. And I think a lot of team managers and clubs are probably panicking a bit because, you know, we seem like we've been so long over, but we really only went into lockdown this time last year. I think when a couple of days before lockdown, we were meant to play Carnew in the Wicklow League, and we called it off between us, and we didn't get back to June. You know, I think we'll probably get back May or beginning of June or whatever, and again we'll have plenty of time. We probably don't play a championship till August, which gives us loads of time, and we're straight back into it again of week on, week off, probably hurling and football. And to me, it's a lot easier to manage it that way when you know when your exact dates are, rather than trying to pace lads and get them at the right level at the right time.
Yeah, and I suppose looking back a little bit to last year, were you upset that there was no club championship last year, considering that the lads were going so well at the time? I thought they were going to would have had a huge chance at a Leinster intermediate there. I was disappointed myself. You must have been disappointed.
Yeah, that was the biggest disappointment. You know, I think anytime you win your county, whether it's in Wexford, Wicklow, Dublin, wherever it is, you relish going up against the rest of Leinster and seeing where you're at. I think the year before we were unlucky. We led most of the way and got caught at the end, you know, but it would have been great to go at it again. But it's a little complaint, and you see a lot of things that are going on. I see my own parents there are more or less locked up for the last 6 months because they can't get out. So, of course, you would have loved to have played it, but it'll come again, hopefully, you know.
Yeah, and I suppose you touched on it there as well. You know, that early defeat to Glenealy last year was probably the kick in the backside that you needed at the time without going out, I suppose. And, you know, you seem to have perfected this third quarter burst. Is it something you work on, or is it just part of the team's makeup now?
No, and look, I think if we hadn't beaten, or Glenealy hadn't beaten us, I don't think we'd have won the championship, because I think someone would have bet us in a knockout game because we wouldn't have seen what we were doing wrong or where we were going wrong, you know. And I think it was a massive wake-up call, and we had a tough 2 weeks after between, you know, discussing where we went wrong and a few home truths. And fairness, all the lads put their shoulder to the wheel and dug in after that, you know. But I think the third quarter, sure, look, there's many different reasons. I think teams really come at us in the first 30 minutes. They really hit us hard. I think their best 30 minutes is the first 30, and we seem to be the lads do a massive amount of work fitness-wise regards on the field and off the field, and they just had that spurt of energy after half time. And I don't know whether you have a break after 15 minutes that they go that extra bit harder, but it seems to work out for us, and then lads think it's going to happen, and when you think it's going to happen, sometimes it does. It becomes a bit of a habit where they up their game for that. But you kind of have to give our secret away now, so I don't know what quarter we're going to have to be winning this year.
Look, at those no say, boy. I just at half time, even you just said Carnew had thrown the kitchen sink at you in the county final, and from a Carnew man, someone said in the press box, God, you'd have to be happy there. And Gary Laffin was beside me, and I just said, look at the two groups of players, it almost looked like your lads had just done the warm up. Carnew looked like there was a steam out at the time. Like the throwing the kitchen sink, and it's a credit to the lads. Their S&C, the work that yourselves and the lads must be doing there. It's a credit to them. They're at a serious level there at the minute.
Yeah, look, to be fair to Carnew, they probably should have went in 3 or 4 points up and didn't. And if you go in 3 or 4 points up, they have a massive confidence, and we're asking questions and we're chasing the game. So it's a completely different game then. It's a case of, I think we took our chances better than what Carnew did. I think they definitely got the better the first half. And again, if they had gone in 3 or 4 up, you're talking a different game. But when you play that well for half an hour and don't see the reward, it does give you a dent of confidence. Whereas we kind of knew, right, they've had the better of us and we're still in the game. We're still that point or two up, So it does give you a big boost when you haven't played as well as you could. And that's not being disrespectful. They didn't let us play. They didn't allow us to play our free-flowing game. But we just knew if we got in at half-time relatively close or that point or two ahead, we'd have it in the legs,
Yeah, and I suppose looking from the outside in now, the core of this Bray team are all around the same age. They pretty much came up together. You've had a few additions here and there, but they're all still have time on their side. They could have a real grip on Wicklow and these lads for a couple of years to come now, couldn't they?
If you're to look at it on paper and look at the last 2 years, you'd say that, but who would have given Glenealy a chance of beating them last year? And that can happen at any stage. I think the gap in the last 2 county finals is not a fair reflection. I think teams, if they're not in the game in the last 10 minutes, they just fall away. There's times that teams are 5 or 6 points behind, but it's still a great chance of beating you, and they just seem to fall away in that last 10 minutes. And look at the target is on our back now. We have to keep it going. All the pressure is on us, and everyone will say it's on everyone else, but sure, it's not on anyone else because no one else is expecting to win it. But I'm not seeing that teams are going to let Bray win a third one. So I think Carnew will come back better. I think they'll learn a massive amount in the county final. Glenealy are still there. Pats are still there. I thought Aero were very good this year. I was surprised they didn't get through. But I think the teams in Wicklow are getting better. I think Bray the last 2 years have been very good, but the pressure is on us now to try and recreate that and get back there again.
Yeah, and I suppose look at we all look at teams. When teams are winning, but you have a huge amount of leadership throughout the team. I mean, you have John Henderson, you have Christie. Christie has made the man of the match award in county finals his own, almost. Big men for big days. In every line of the field you have them, and it's a great place to be in as the manager, knowing that sort of leadership is among the group.
Yeah, look, we have leaders everywhere, really, and that's a massive plus. I think as well we also have lads that can come on and make a huge difference. Usually at club level you probably have 13 players that are guaranteed on a team every day, and you have 2 or 3 lads that will come on if someone's doing really bad. And that's just club level, but we have 5 lads that could be on the team as much as any other 5 lads. So when you have that in reserve, it's brilliant, because lads on the field know we need to work incredibly hard. And you also know if you're bringing a fella on with 20 minutes to go, you can make a difference. So that's a huge plus for us. But and that again makes training competitive, makes making your panel competitive. And I just think it's a luxury we have at the moment. I think we had 5 new lads playing the county final last year that didn't play the year before. And a lot of clubs don't have that luxury. And you look at any club that's winning championships. When Wexford, they had a panel of 25. Ballygunner and Waterford panel of 25. Coola, they're all massive panels. So that's a big help to us, you know.
And look, you know, as you said, like just to look down along the panel, the strength is in the panel, and I suppose even to lose, yeah, unfortunate for your fullback to lose him in the semi-final to a red card or whatever, but you were seamless. You know, the transition was seamless. You know, in the final, like I did it for other clubs to lose a central player like that. You know, it had been a huge blow, but you know, you had lads there that could just step in and fill boots like that, and it's a great position to be in as a manager, I suppose. Looking forward, going for 3 in a row, the perfect 2021, it'd have to be 3 in a row for Bray and Paul Carley, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what you're aiming for, and that's what you're hoping for. Again, I think it's going to be tougher again. I think, as I said already, the target's on our back, and I think when you're going in against a team that's won 2 in a row, you literally have nothing to lose, you know. And I think that stood to us against Glenealy 2 years ago. They were going for 3 in a row. All the pressure was on them to win 3 in a row, and it just took the pressure off us. We could go out and hurl with a bit of freedom. I don't think many expected us to win, which was, you know, that's understandable, because Glenealy been a great team, and going for 3 in a row, any team that does that in any county is a massive achievement. So, yeah, our aim is to win 3 in a row. Again, we don't know what way the champions are going to run, whether it's going to be a group of 7 or back to last year, a group of 4 and a group of 3. But we'll just focus on the first match. You know, hopefully we'll be in a better place than we were last year in the first match, and we'll start with a win and go from there.
Lovely job. Look, Paul, thanks a million for taking your time out to have a chat with us there. It's a real pleasure talking to you, and hopefully, sure, I'll see you back in Ockram shortly.
With a bit of luck, we'll get back there and we'll go at it again.
Lovely job. Thanks a million, Paul.